Hello, hello everybody, and welcome. This is another video for strategies, tactics, and boosts. And we are getting closer to the racing weekend. We have the opening and final round ahead of us, so we are going to see how we're going to race this weekend. Our event, as we all know, the Great Britain Origin Series event. Russell, Hamilton, and Norris are boosted drivers with 10%. Don't forget that Coupa is the event of the boost for a second week in a row. And I hope we helped you with the video for the qualifying round. And now we're going to try to do the same for opening and finals. First of all, oh, before this, yes, we're going to see the tracks. Yes, first of all, let's open our screens and start to get ready for this. And of course, let's see our tracks. So, as you can see, it's not the same as last week. We're not going to race two times in Silverstone. As you can see, we're not going to race in Silverstone at all. We only did that in the qualifying round. So we start with Miami and 40% chance of raining. Then we travel to Japan and Suzuka, France, Hungary, Bahrain, Imola, all dry races. Then we get to Singapore, where we most likely we're going to have a wet race, 83% chance of raining in Singapore, and finally the event ends in Monza. So let's start from Miami. And you know, for a dry race, what I believe for Miami is that Miami is you win in Miami in sector 3, the yellow sector, in this big straight, and in sector 2, where you see the green outline there. These are the fastest spots inside the track, and these are the the spots in the track in the race that we're going to mainly attack our opponents. 3 pit stops, soft compound. What we need is speed and fuel. This is why Deadfast, Eclipse, Instinct, and Gladiator are main choices, are four main choices for both drivers wherever we start in the grid. But of course, as in Jeddah, as I always say, Miami and Jeddah are very similar tracks. So, as we do in Jeddah, we can choose 2 pit stops, not three. Mainly, I would prefer you to do that if you start P14, P15, P12, and lower. Street Shark, of course, 3, 3, 2, our medium, soft, our 3 stints. Street Shark, if you don't have Street Shark, this strategy probably won't work for you because we need speed, but we need tire management, good tire management. 2, and only Street Shark. Street Shark is the only boost that gives us these two: speed and tire management. Good tire management, not only one. As you can see, we have three in tire management. Deadfast will give us one, but it's not enough if we want to push a lot. We can use Deadfast here, but we are going to push only in sector 3 in the big straight, and only there. Okay, now if it rains, we can choose again to go 3 pit stops, all wets, hex and exception, but as we have seen, we can do this. Wet compound easily goes 3 laps with hex, with exception, and giving us the ability to push enough as much as we want, especially in the straights. So our best choice here, 3-3-2 and 2-3-3, of course, for the second driver, hex and exception. Second choice, this one. You see the rain swaps which strategy is the fastest. In a wet race, this is the fastest strategy, and this is the second fastest strategy. It's exactly the opposite when we have the dry race. And if you want to try something different, 4-4 with frost, you can do it, but I wouldn't recommend you to do it. It's a little bit, it's much slower than the other two strategies, but if you are at the back of the pack, maybe you would like to try it, but I would stick to the first two strategies. Now, second race, Japan. As you can see here in Japan, mainly it's a corner and grip. It's a corners. If we talk with the new seasons, with the new seasons, what we have seen about the new season, there is no grip. It's only cornering. But okay, this is a corner, mainly a corner track, and this is how we are going to approach this this race. As you can see, okay, we have the beginning of sector 1, the red sector with the green outline, where we can push and overtake in corner 1 if we have enough speed, but with a corner and with a corner boost, we can overtake almost everywhere in Suzuka, and mainly in corners 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14. We have lots of spots where we can overtake our opponents if we are fast enough in the corners. So this is why 4-3, hard, medium, hook, and let's see, hook. And this is a strategy, of course, if you are in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack. 4-3, hard, medium. Japan consumes a lot of tire, so hook and hard, because we don't have boosting here. As you can see, while we use hook, overtake and acceleration, skull, excuse me, and herald, a very good choice too. This is if you want to aim to that straight in front of the pit lane. This is the strategy, the boost you have to use, but for me the best one is Kawai and Skull. If you start Skull mainly if you start in the middle or at the back of the pack. A very good choice because of 5 in corners and 2 in overtaking and 1 in fuel use. This is a must for me boost to use in this track. My first choice would be Skull, and my best strategy will be with corners, Skull and Kavai, the two choices. But if you like to attack, I know that there are many players that like to attack in the straight, so Hook and Herald would be the best two choices here. For your second driver, again, if you are at the back of the pack, 3, 4, medium hard. This time, Wood, Jin, or tune in if you don't have Wood. And again here we want to be fast in the corners and attack there and overtake our opponents. Okay, alternatively, if you want again to use the straight, Hook and Herald would be your best two choices if you start in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack. Now, let's see something different. Medium soft with Taurus. This is a more aggressive approach to the race. And we can use this strategy even if we are at the back of the pack, but mainly for positions P5, P6, to P7, P8, P9, P10 maybe. It's a very good strategy. We are fast because of our compound selection, medium and soft, and we are fast in the corners because of Taurus or Eagle. If we want, we can choose Eagle. Taurus will give us fuel and more tire management. Eagle will give us less tire management but better grip. As you can see, and you can use this strategy the other way around. 3-4 soft medium. If you start P3, P4, it's a very good choice. But if we start P1, P2, P3, P4, this is the fastest strategy. 2, 2, 3. The last stint, maybe with softs again, if we have a big advantage, but 2, 2, 3, soft, medium, the safest and the fastest choice. Best to start with Kavai. Alternatively, Wood and Jin, and of course, if we don't have any of that, tune in. We can use this strategy even if we are P6, P7, P8, P9, but then we're going to need Skull, and it will be a little bit tricky, but we can do it. But we will need Skull because we need some overtaking, boosting in order for this to work. Next track, France. Again, we have some voices, let's say, we have some suggestions from players, from top players of the game, that it's not only speed and acceleration. France is not only about speed and acceleration, but we can use corners and grip. So this is why our first choice, 2 pit stops, of course, 2, 3, 3, soft, medium, medium. Some would like to go soft and be conservative in the two stints, but it will be very difficult to do 3 laps with a soft compound without tire management. So for me, if we're going to use Hook, Vice, Firework, or Instinct, or Deadfast, um, or Eclipse, 233 soft, medium, medium, the best choice. Vice is if you start P1, P2 to have a very good start. Hook is your choice if you are P6, P7, P8, because we need the overtaking and the good start, of course, with the acceleration. Firework and Instinct is P1 to P6 easily. And of course, 233 is a very good choice. The undercut is a very good choice if you start at the back of the grid. Of course, our second driver, 332, medium, medium softs. Again, the same boosts. I would go Hook, Firework, and Instinct because I'm not going to start the race with mediums if my driver starts P1, P2, P3. So Vice will go to the driver who starts with the softs. Now, alternatively, this is a way, this is a strategy many players like to use. Only softs, they get the speed from the compound, only softs, and they get speed in the corners from the boosts. Downforce, Eagle, or Nazar, very good choices here. This will get you to be fast, maybe not so fast by using acceleration and speed boosts, but you will be fast in the corners, and soft compound in all stints will make you even faster. Finally, if you want to gain time by doing only one pit stop, then mediums and Taurus, or Frost if you don't have Taurus. But for me, this would work if you are in the middle of the pack or maybe at the back of the pack. I don't like it so much if we start in front of the grid. So this is a good alternative if you are P12 and lower. Our next track is Hungary, and here, okay, sometimes we may say that we're going to use the only straight that this track has and try to overtake there our opponents, but I don't think this is the case here. For me, Hungary is 95% corners and grip, so 5-3 medium soft if we are in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack. Downforce will give us the ability to go 5 laps with pushing, and Nazar with pushing a lot the red button, stay close to the other drivers, the other cars that will pit before us. We will be the last to pit in lap 5, so we stay close, we push in our last lap, and then with the soft compound again we push as much as we can. Mainly we want to gain the most positions we're going to gain will be by overtaking everyone who is pitting, and then with the softs we can do a couple of overtakings, more overtakings. Now, alternatively, we can go 5-3 with softs, but here we're going to need Taurus in order to do so. And of course, here we bet our best bet is the speed of our compound and the tire management of our boost. It's the same strategy with the first one, but with a different boost and faster compound. 3-5, a very good choice if you start at the front. If you are P1, P2, P3, you can easily start with the softs, go fast for 3 laps, and then put your mediums and cruise along until the end of the race, and this will make it safer for you. This is a safer strategy if a safety car comes out. We always say that the less pit stops we plan to do, the safer we are from a safety car. Of course, 3-5 is a very good strategy, like an undercut if you start at the back of the pack. Don't forget that. Always the undercut is a very good strategy if you are at the back. Now, another choice is 4-4, soft medium. The first stint will be a little bit conservative. We won't be able to push a lot, but we will be fast. And now we have two choices: be fast in the straight with Herald, or be fast at corners, and we have lots of corners. Most of the track is about cornering, so Kawai engine, the best choices for me here: soft, medium, 4-4. Very good strategy if you start wherever you start in the grid. If you are P1, P2, P3, P7, P12, P15, a very good strategy and a very fast strategy. And again, we have the same strategy with tire boosting, downforce, Taurus or Frost, of course. So we use the fastest compound we have, which is the softs. Soft in both stints, downforce, Taurus or Frost if we don't have the dry boosts. It's the same logic, same everything, but downforce or Taurus have less boosting in corners, but they give us the ability to use only softs and push. So as it is always, some we gain some, we lose some, depending on what our plan is. And finally, okay, if we start P1, P2 and we get from the first meters the first position, we can use this strategy 3-3-2, wood, tune in, skull. If we start P3, P5 and we want some overtaking, we need some overtaking, but what we need here is to be fast in corners, wood, skull and tune in, and to have a quick pit stop, because we are doing 2 pit stops in a track that we don't need to do 2 pit stops. And okay, we can use it if we start at the top of the grid, but it will make us more vulnerable in a safety car. I would choose 1 pit stop. The strategies we show you, the strategies you have seen before, but okay, this can work too. And now let's go to Bahrain. This is another track that we have 2 approaches again, and I haven't decided yet which is the best. We have done lots of experiments, even during events, and I haven't decided yet which is the best. Probably they are the same, so maybe the best way to approach this is one driver with acceleration, speed and overtaking, and the other driver with corners So if something goes wrong, we can minimize the damage. But I think both of them are both of these strategies work just fine. So 2 pit stops, of course, 2-3-3. This is the fastest strategy. 2 pit stops, only soft compound, 2-3-3 and 3-3-2 for our two drivers. As you can see, one choice is Herald, Vice, Instinct, Hook, acceleration, speed, and overtaking. And the other choice, 2-3-3, 3-3-2, Kawai, Jin, Wood, Skull. You must know by now that Kawai, Jin, Wood, if uh, if we don't need many overtakings, Skull if we need to overtake a lot of drivers, first choice Skull and then Kawai, Jin or Wood. These strategies are great wherever you start in the grid, at the top, in the middle, at the back. You can choose them. Mainly, if you are at the back of the grid, I would prefer 2-3-3 for your last driver, for your lowest driver, and then for your second driver, you can easily choose one pit stop, medium, medium, downforce, or Nazar. Or you can easily choose this 5-3 medium soft with Taurus, or Eagle. We can be fast with the mediums. We can go 5 laps and push, mainly if we have Taurus, because we have not only tire management but fuel management too. And of course, in the last stint, we will be able to push even more, cornering and grip boosted with Taurus and Eagle. And of course, if you are at the back and you want to do a different undercut, 3-5 soft medium, a good alternative. I would mainly choose, for me, the fastest strategies are with the 2 pit stops, 3 stints, only with softs. And if you are in the middle and at the back of the pack, maybe you can think 4-4 with you can think 4-4 with downforce. But this is a good alternative. Not so fast as the other strategies, but if you are at the back and you need to overtake a lot of drivers, you can overtake a lot of them while they are pitting with these strategies. And overtaking a car when it's stopped, it's easier than when it's speeding. So very good choices if you are at the back of the grid. Next, one of my favorite tracks, the track that I always say that undercut was made for this, was invented for this track, Imola, a very fast track, that we were always saying go fast and furious, because sector 1, the red sector, you can go fast as hell there with speed boosts, but in the rest of the track you can go very fast with cornering boosts. So 2-3-3, as you can see, the undercut strategy, dead fast, eclipse, firework, instinct, soft, medium, soft. First stint, we just leave it on okay, we just leave it on yellow. We get in the second lap. In the end of the second lap, we do our pit stop, put on the mediums, press the red button, and forget to do forget anything else. Just leave it on red, 3 laps, pushing as much as you can for 3 laps, and at the end of lap 5 we get in, pit again, put the softs on, because we will at that time our fuel won't be so much, so we use a faster compound, and we are going to push in selected spots and only when we need. We cannot push a lot anymore. We pushed in the second stint, the whole second stint, so that's why we use softs in our last stint. Believe me, it works perfectly. The undercut here is great, and of course for the second driver, soft, medium, soft. Again, we don't push a lot in our first stint, only in the straights. Then we push like hell in our second stint, and of course we are fast again with a soft compound in the first stint. Now, alternatively, as you can see, only softs 2, 3, 3, but we are not using, as you can see, our previous boosts, Dead Fast, Eclipse, Firework, Instinct. Now we are not using speed and fast and furious boosts. We are aiming to be fast in the corners. So Kawai, Jin and Oud, our best choices. Don't forget that if you want to make the fastest lap in Imola, you can make it with Kawai, not with Firework, not with Vice, not with Dead Fast. No. The fastest lap in Imola is done with Kawai. So, very good choice. Maybe again, as we did in Bahrain, we can do it here too. One driver with Dead Fast, second driver with Kawai or Jin. So we have mixed strategies. Of course, if you are in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack, you can be fast and gain some time by doing only one pit stop, but as we always say, Street Shark is the only boost that will make this strategy work. Medium, Street Shark, maybe Lumberjack, but not so much. Of course, if we want to do one pit stop but use other boosts like Lumberjack, Deadfast, Eclipse, Firework, then we have to use the hard compound. And of course, we use the hard compound if our drivers don't have good tire management, because here we don't speak only for maxed out drivers. We speak for drivers in the common level, in the rare level, uh, level 4, 5. So tire management is an issue, and don't hesitate to use slower compounds and fast boosts. Don't hesitate to do it. It works just fine. You will be quick even with the hards if you use here Deadfast, Lumberjack, Eclipse, Firework. Don't worry, you will be one of the fastest in the track. Okay, our 7th track is Singapore, and if I remember well, in Singapore, yes, we are going to have a very big chance of raining. So let's see both. Okay, Singapore is a very straightforward track, is easy to see what you have to do here. It's only corners, there are no straights here at all, and it's a 7 lap track. So one pit stop for 3, 3-4. Let's see what boost to use. So, one strategy. 4-3, Jin, Oud or Kavai, medium soft. Of course, we said this is a cornering, a corners and grip track. So, Jin, Oud or Kavai, forget about speed here. Medium and soft. Medium, you can push some and do 4 laps. With softs, you can push the whole 3 laps. It will get you there. For the second driver, 3-4, Skal, Nazar, Downforce, of course, Kavai, Jin, Oud. These 6 boosts are what you need here, wherever you are in the track. There is no difference if you are at the top or at the back, but my best strategy, the best strategy for me here is this one. And for the driver that starts lower, if you have one driver starting P1, P2, P3, P4, or you have P7, P8, and your other driver starts P10, P11, P12, or lower, this strategy for me is the best. If we could use the same boost in both drivers, I would play the same strategy here. I would use the same strategy in both my drivers. 4-3 Taurus, only softs. But we can't, so for our second driver, 4-3 Taurus or Eagle. I prefer Taurus, alternatively Eagle, of course. And here Taurus will give us the opportunity to stay close, to overtake. In the first thing, we're going to overtake everyone with mediums or hards, and we're going to stay close to those ones who have softs, and they are going to pit in the third lap. We get rid of them, we push in our last lap of our first stint, we push a lot, we make a gap big enough to make our pit stop, and even if they overtake us again, they will be with mediums or hards, and we will be with softs. And Taurus means fuel and tire management, although we can push 3 laps in Singapore with softs and won't have a problem with the tires, but the fuel boosting of Taurus will be very helpful in the last stint, where the other drivers will have mediums or hards and we can attack them with our softs. Now, if it rains, not much to do. 3-4, tune in, my first choice. 4-3, Tsar or Prince, my second choice. And that's it. We don't have anything else to do or to choose. In Singapore, it's so simple. It's a very simple track to race. Although it's difficult, it's very simple. Not many things to do. Now, for our last race, we go to Monza, and again here, I have heard a lot of voices in my head telling me try corner boosts, try corner and grip boosts. Well, okay, I'm going to try them, but at the moment I still believe that speed boosts are the best choice here. So 2-3-3, soft, medium, medium, not always soft, medium, medium. We could easily go soft, 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 but I would prefer soft, medium, medium, dead fast, Eclipse, Firework or Hex. With these boosts, I prefer mediums and 3-3-2, of course. If we want softs, then 3-3-2 or 2-3-3, but with Street Shark, because it will give us the ability to make 3 laps with softs and be able to push and not be borderline. And Deadfast will be useful too, and we can do it with Deadfast, although it will give us only 1 in boosting, but entire boosting, but we, by being a little bit more conservative, we can do it. I prefer this strategy with Street Shark and Deadfast Firework Eclipse with the mediums. And of course, 1 pit stop 4-4, again with Street Shark, the best choice. Or if you want to try and try to be fast in corners, then you can use Downforce or maybe Nazar, but I would stick at the moment to the Fast and Furious approach for this track. So that's it. Yep, as I can see, this is it. Yes, that's it. We got to see all our 8 tracks that we're going to race this weekend, and I hope we gave you some good ideas. I hope we helped you with what you saw here. I'm waiting for some feedback, of course, below this video at the comment section, and let's see again once more our opening and final round tracks. Miami, 40% chance of raining. Suzuka, France, Hungary, Bahrain, Imola, Singapore with 83% chance of raining, and finally we end up in Italy, Monza, to conclude our opening and final round. So that's it for today. I hope you liked it. If so, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned. We have more videos coming, we have live streaming, so we have very interesting news for you. So subscribe, stay tuned, and I hope to see you again next time. Thank you very much.